Hey guys, how are you? Yeah, sorry about that. It just put me live before I had a chance to share the stream. Glad to be with you. And where am I right now? I'm actually outside the Perth Mint. The Perth Mint, the not so royal Perth Mint, involved in recent controversies, not as mentioned. Damn guys, I'm not sure what's happened. Are you coming live and lost? Hopefully I'm still back with you. Anyway, so I was just talking about the gold doping. Let me rehash. Apologies for this live. It's been a bit shambolic. You never know what you're going to get on signal over here. So I was talking about gold doping. Essentially, 4 nines is 99.99%, but actually, unwritten rule, it goes to at least a 6 afterwards. That's the 5th decimal. And the Australians were just cutting it at that, and they saved $600,000 by not having the 6 in the 5th decimal column and actually putting in silver instead. And that was a little bit of when you're selling billions of dollars worth of a precious metal, that's especially to nations like China, it's quite a cheeky little hustle. And the Chinese are very specific about the quality they want and the structure of it, and they were silver doping. So that was the mini crisis that they had. The other crisis, it's not quite fake bars and stuff like that. So let's just be clear, this is rounding error. This is nickel and diming. This is the coin trimmers, the very minor coin trimming element. The other thing that was far larger was that they weren't doing money laundering checks on people that were coming in until recently, and they started doing it going forward, but a lot of people were what you've been doing, so who knows, people might have done a launder. Very popular precious metals, lots of Chinese people obviously, and Far Eastern people in Australia because of time zone. It's a comfortable, nice place. It has all the Western benefits, and then they can have a great lifestyle still within their community and style. But I want to just show you something on gold. We've spoken on this channel about gold, and we've warned recently, go look at the technical video just before, where we talk of the 2,900s being potentially where we expect this next move to take its first major rest. You've had a very buoyant strong in. I actually did the tour yesterday, but didn't have enough KYC to spend under $2,000. You know, you need even more KYC to spend more than $2,000, and I wanted to spend some money for family. So as an uncle as well as a father, I like to give sound money gifts to kids rather than shitty disposable plastic stuff or even trinkets or other things that don't have intrinsic value. I've become a money efficiency type guy. I really don't like waste and bad gifts. I suppose you all have this in you. I'm generous, but I don't like to waste. So there's a kind of polar or opposite. There's a sort of polarization between the two things. So give something that grows. Give a seed for a future tree rather than something that's just a consumable. Anyway, I want to just show you that very much illustrates something that highlights the complete, in my opinion, misvaluation of gold to silver, and it may actually get worse. So I'm going to show you a picture image. Because I had to spend only under $2,000 as a tourist who could only KYC to a certain point, this right here that I'm showing you, and I'm going to try and get it as close to the camera as possible, but when you see it next to my face, it's not much more than a big pimple, is 1/20th of an ounce of gold. 1/20th of an ounce of gold. Now, those of you that follow me know that we watch the gold-silver ratio a great deal. And in actual fact, we're in I think the 90s. I haven't checked today. Call me a liar one way, but we should be in the 90s at the moment. And this is really close to all-time highs. It's not super all-time highs. We had a 126, obviously, in the CV19 events, where the very manipulated silver got slammed super hard, and gold, as a great reserve asset in crisis times, did significantly better, had a much smaller dip and then rallied a lot higher. So we have been higher, but that right there represents 1/20th of an ounce. I don't even feel this weight. I mean, you know, this could be a little banky for a guy who smokes a spliff, and it would be heavier than what's going down in that hand. And then as an alternative, I purchased what is going to be called a dragon, and this is the better part of 5 ounces. Let me make absolutely sure. Is it 5 or 10? Dragon 2024. It's very popular. The Eastern ones. I could have got a serpent, but that's a bit too lizard for me. I'm not a massive fan. Dragon's very popular, obviously, with the Chinese and luck and all of that. It's got the old nag's head on it that we're doing, and it says, let's just read it. 4 nines, 5 ounce. Yeah, so it's 5 ounces. I don't even know what I bought. How's that? Check how fat that coin is, by the way. It's not the coin of a 1 ounce. That is that fat. Now, I'll shock you by telling you, you can hear it shake around. This has got much more weight to it. And this 5 ounces cost quite a bit less than that fragment, 1/20th of an ounce of gold, which is just to show you. And I'll remind you that gold-silver ratio is super extended. Keith Newmeyer will tell you, from someone who's net accumulating ounces in the ground, will tell you that he only gets 8 ounces on a good day of silver for every ounce of gold that he extracts. So that's kind of where we're at in gold-silver ratio. It's Anzac Day, they call it, Australia Day on Sunday, which is now rolled on to the Monday, so everyone has the public holiday. So it's a public holiday weekend. There's a good old Aussie flag, just so that you know I am there. Here you go. You have the choice of buying that or that. I think they're both good, by the way. I just think one is absolutely extremely undervalued. Now, in our community, a community member was highlighting something we'd been tracking and have commented on occasionally, and there is actually an upside HVF for platinum. So let's just do the rarity and scarcity game. For every 8 ounces of this, you're getting 1 ounce of gold, typically, and that's how it's being found. For every ounce of for every 20 ounces of gold, you're going to be getting around 1 ounce of platinum. So for every 20 ounces of, let's just say that again. Sorry, guy brought a baby right behind me. I just don't want to hear a baby start screaming while I'm talking to you. I don't want to over-test the audio here. Let's re-say that again because I lost my chain of thought. 8 ounces of silver for every ounce of gold, and for every 20 ounces of gold, 1 ounce of platinum. So if you're talking about scarcity, there's about a 150 to 160. The averages, you got to take these averages. They could be 7, 8 between gold and silver on the mining, the rate that they extract, and it varies by obviously deposits, but generally overall you're on 7 times to 8 times the amount of silver for the ounce of gold, and you're on 20 times the amount of gold for every ounce of platinum. And of course it involves nations like Russia and South Africa and other stable fulcrums of society, Zimbabwe for example, in the platinum game. So, and platinum is probably the most oversold on account of palladium and what went down with palladium kind of substituting for platinum. Palladium is part of the platinum group of metals. Anyway, so public holidays, Australia Day, welcome, happy Australia Day to all Australians. Let's get the flag in up top there for all our Aussie boys. We're very well supported from Australia. We thank all our Australian guys, as we thank you all from both sides of the island here, but we thank you all for checking in. This is a heck of a visual aid for what it is. Now I think it was about 200. I must check my fact sheet in here. There's a piece of paper. I'll tell you what I paid for the 5 ounces of silver. Understand there's a decorative pricing. It's not the most efficient way of purchasing. These are gifts, so they'll have a little bit of artistic merit and cost in there. Chucking all my metal around up top here, trying to organize, not enough hands. So I'm going to get the paper out and read it to you. So I paid for that 20th of an ounce, and this is in Aussie dollars. Aussie dollar is about 0.62 to the US dollar, by the way. So that means it's about 60%, just over 60% to a US dollar. Most of you know USD, or you'll know what the pound or the euro is to the USD. So gold coins, the 1/20th, which was a snake. I don't think you can even see it. You need a microscope. $319.76. So that tiny little fella that I showed you, should probably get him out one more time. That tiny little fella that I showed you That's 319. You can see the snake in the end there. $319. That little guy, 1/20th. You can't even feel the weight. You'll lose this thing without even thinking twice. This 5-ouncer over here, this 5-ouncer with that thick rim, let's tell you the price on that guy so that you can just get the percentages. The silver was on the other side. I spent just under my allocation that I'm allowed, $291.60. 291 Aussie dollars 60 for that 5-ounce coin with all its artistry, merit and extra premium. And then you had for the gold 319.76, 319.76, 291, 319. So you can see that the gold ratio at 20th to 5, it really tells you where the premium is. That's not to say gold is overvalued, it's to say how undervalued silver is. And then I point out the scarcity of platinum, and I certainly see platinum also having, when it starts to run, a great move. Forgive me for the camera bouncing around. Let's have a look at some of your comments, by the way. There's a bit of a wind blowing and I'm holding the phone and I'm making a mess here, but let's read. Hey Francis, have you heard of Velo protocol? What do you think of its bull run? That's a crypto question. I'm going to leave that for another day. And no, I haven't, and I'm probably the wrong guy. So when you talk fundamentals on a small program, a small crypto release, you're probably better informed than me. So the one thing I always want to be honest about is what I have that's uniquely skillful, that's worth sharing. That's not one of them, and most things are not. Not going to fall into that category, I'm afraid. So macro technical analysis is my game, and understanding of the global macroeconomic financial system are things that I'm truly passionate about. And gold as a store of value that is non-digital is why I'm talking to you today. And I'm even suggesting to you, humbly, because I'm not the master of everything, but I'm humbly suggesting to you it's a better idea. It's a better idea to give gifts in metal, not diamonds, not jewelry with huge markups, but intrinsic value. The coins, you're going to have a little bit of fluff value and premium on artistry and being regged. Limited edition, you'll pay more. Take it to the bar level, that's great, but having coins is valuable. There's a key thing to remind many people of. If they do a revaluation of the monetary system on gold, against gold, what they may do is they may try to throw capital gains on you. Now, if it's a bar, then it's an investment. If it's a coin that has a nominal value, they can't tax you much more than that. Let's see what else you guys have said. Greetings from Poole. Yes, hey, Poole, south of England. Are you still bearish on oil, Francis? I don't have a view on oil. It hasn't done yet what I'd expected it to do. We've had a weak dollar. So guys, we've had a weak dollar. So this is Market Sniper talk. So I'm happy to talk a little bit about it. It's not gold specific, but it is Market Sniper talk. Oil, I haven't looked at the chart recently. I've left it. So when things don't do what I do, I kind of just put them on a watch list. And the truth is I haven't watched that closely because I've been doing a bit of family events, bit of travel, a bit of concentration on the cryptos and concentration on gold specifically because we have upside HVS. So I'm incredibly narrow generally when things are of interest in a specific area, and I let everything else go unless it's part of the macro equation. Here's what you need to be watching, guys. And I've got to start walking. I've got a 12 o'clock appointment and I'm probably already running late. Here's what you got to watch. And I'm going to tell you this, and I'm going to tell you this again because I've told it to you before, but you might not be in part of that video or live stream. You need to watch the US 10-year. The US 10-year has stopped going down now. We've continued to bias on the side. I'm talking about the yields. Always the yields, so the rates. This drives dollar strength or weakness. So we had the US 10-year come down, the yields again in basic valuation. So we were pushing up. The macro trend is higher. We had it come down and the dollar went weak for a bit. And you've been allowed to have crypto go up. You've got the gold upside HVF. Stock markets have calmed down. We'd highlighted a possible setup on the S&P. Sun's really hot. Yeah, guys, so you're going to have to put up with my Panama hat. All of these things have had a counter trend pullback. And as a result of all of that, you will have probably had oil price go up. Without having seen the chart, it's a fait accompli. Also, we've spoken about the USD Korean won. It's an absolute pearl of a trade, macro to the upside. We've given this to you, but it's a long-term hold. Net long, short the Korean won, long the dollar. Going past aircons might be a bit noisy. So with that in mind, the dollar's had a small respite of weakness, softness, where it's been predominantly strong. So even the Dixies kind of broadened out, had a little bit of a pullback. The dollar had been dominating against the euro and the pound. Remember this, and I gave a similar chat to the community. Remember this. Start when you want to understand what's happening, or you're explaining to a family member. The first thing you say is this key phrase. The underlying fulcrum of this economic event that you are experiencing right now in slow motion is that this is a debt-based collapse. A debt-based collapse. Say it 3 times. Debt is the foundation of the system. Even before currency, money is borrowed into existence. Many of you will have heard that the currency markets are bigger than the debt markets, as if it dominates it. It's bigger because there's regular exchange, there's more liquidity. People are switching between currencies at a great level. But the seed foundation of that pyramid is debt, and it's crumbling. Every dollar, every euro was borrowed into existence. And because of that, you have too much debt, and the interest rates have climbed, and America, despite what they'll tell you about Japan and other emerging nations, America is paying the highest overall by absolute degree, not in percentage terms, interest payments to the tertiary extracting owners of the financial system that got given the exorbitant privilege of creating the money for a community. We got some guys saying hi. Hey, how are you guys? Oh, you're kidding me. You're kidding me.
Just down the road, I saw you had a live.
How are you doing? How are you doing? What's your name?
Richie.
Richie, how cool.
Fellow I brought my friend here, Frank.
Frank, how's it going?
Excellent.
Why don't you come join us for a coffee? We're at Claremont on Monday.
Yeah, we're coming on Monday, but
awesome.
Just around the corner, come and say hello.
So you saw the live.
Saw the live. Yeah.
That's brilliant. It's great to see you. Thanks for coming and saying. Give me your name again.
Richie.
Richie. Shout out to Richie of Western Australia.
Fellow community member here from WA in Perth. The Sniper Circle, it's where you want to be.
Thank you so much. Hey, unprompted as well. Checks in the post. Great to meet you. And your name was? Frank. Oh, I like
Great
Frank.
Community. Great
Frank.
community.
Oh, awesome. Thank you. Yeah, we will see you Monday.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, what are you doing now?
You busy now? I've got to meet my brother quickly, and I'm going to finish the stream.
All right, cool.
And then we'll catch up and we'll have a good natter in the coffee shop. Great to meet you.
Monday,
Thanks for coming and saying hi.
Right.
Okay, cheers. Bye-bye. Oh, that's a coincidence. So someone saw me streaming and came and joined us. I am running late for a lunch appointment. But that's quite fortuitous, quite funny and fortuitous. We have friends all over the world. You could be one too. Yay! A very cool Richie, not a nice guy as well. I found that the Aussie people are just awesome, generally. There's a little bit of a South African Aussie rivalry on sport. They normally nuked us in cricket. They were just exceptional under the Warne Gilchrist era, the Steve Waugh, phenomenal sportsman. And we're a bit dissimilar. We kind of have a Cyprus versus Malta relationship. We compete on a lot of the same things. Southern Hemisphere sunshine. Only we do batshit crazy as well, which they managed to avoid a little bit. But anyway, the rugby only recently started to go away here in Australia because of Australia's just lost a little bit of ground. But great to see Richie, and I'm looking forward to chatting more. Anyway, so that's kind of ad hoc and random. So the key points and takeout: debt-based collapse, guys. Never forget, it's a debt-based collapse, and that starts as your framing. Then everything falls into place. So the T-bill, the 10-year yield, is key. And it's pulled back. That's why you've had the dollar weakness. That's why you'll have oil relatively probably going up. It might have spoiled our setup. I haven't seen the chart. I'll check. And then you have the other key aspects of gold getting a run, crypto being allowed to move higher, should have actually done a bit more. And the key point that I made in the previous video, once we make 2,900, because a lot of big patterns, the flag, now flags are not as significant as HVS for us, but it was a real big macro flag. And as a real big macro flag, we can't ignore it. It's confluencing with the upside HVF. So this could be a point where the dollar strength comes back. So that's when you load up the Korean won at the lows, the pullback lows, and you cycle back. You close your leverage longs on the precious metals. And that's the timing element that we're discussing in the community on a more ongoing basis to try get right. And that's how you pivot with the ebb and flow of this process. But long run, interest rate spike is going to be really damaging to homeowners with high debt. Keep that in mind. I know a lot of you will have mortgages and young families. I don't want you wiped out. Regardless, community member, watcher, all of this. Try pay down and try cap. Try defend yourself against interest rate spikes. Debt collapse is telling you all the risks. It tells you all the risks and the benefits. You can hedge that a little bit with a TLT type short. I'm going to have to go because I've got to navigate now. I've got to put the map on. It'll be a bit cheeky of me in a foreign land to live stream without a mobile holder and without a using the map at the same time. So you're going to have to let me run. But love the quick check-in with you. Thank you for your comments. Yes, a few suffers in the comments. USD Korean won is a solid trade, says Searcher. Second, variable mortgages are chronic debts. That's an ambush if you have variable rates, guys. Yes, have a nice day, says Searcher. Pleasure. Thank you for your good wishes. Do like, share, and subscribe. And how was that? I saw a guy just waving behind. I thought it was just a member of the public. I'm always polite, say hello. It's a community member who tracked us down because he saw the stream starting just down the road from him. So you know what? There's a community member nearby you. How long are you going to leave it? Build wealth in reset times, utilizing the forces they are bringing down in your favor. This is fighting like Tai Chi, guys. This is don't fight the collapse. You're going to lose. It's like standing in front of a 40-foot breaking wave. You are going to get effed up proper. You position that you're with the surfboard and riding the wave, and it's taking you onto the best beach and the freedom of lifestyle. Don't try fight. Recognize that which you control and that which you don't, and position to win, utilizing the forces they have to unleash to bring about the change they want. That's why we're the only community that has reset in mind and knows the end direction they intend to take everybody. Technical analysis method that nobody else has in the HVF method, which has given you the gold long. You could have been in earlier if you're in the community. We were watching it, we were stalking. I wasn't sure I trusted it at first. And then it takes the level, all emotions gone, we're in. It's given a lot of green to me, and I'm hoping quite a lot of our community members from the sound of it. But it will also end like all things before going higher. And the third thing is understanding the role of crypto in this digital journey that they're taking us on. So thanks so much for checking in. Great to have a quick word, and I must dash off and be fashionably late again. But I love this check-in with you, and thank you for your comments and shares. All the best, guys. Bye-bye for now.